welcome to the show. I'm your host, Tracy Tim, and you are watching The Nth Degree TV, the place to be to take your career from stuck to unstoppable. If you have ever woken up on a Monday and wondered, is this all there is? Then this is the place for you. This week we're continuing a series of lessons that I was granted as I completed, honestly, one of the most challenging events in my entire life. In case you missed it, I participated in an event called 29029, otherwise known to challenge participants as Everesting. 29029 founder Jesse Itzler created this one-of-a-kind endurance event to test your mind, body, and soul. The challenge is pretty simple, but definitely not easy. Hike the vertical equivalent of Everest over a span of 13 hikes on a privately rented mountain in 36 hours or less. Woof. I mean, if you think about it, hiking 2,300 vertical feet in the span of 2.3 miles just once is pretty difficult. But to do it 13 times, that was going to take some serious mental and physical preparation. We knew that, and so did the event creators, because 12 weeks before the event, we received our first of several bi-weekly training guides to help us mentally and physically prepare for the hike. So when week one began with a casual 6-mile run, I knew I was in trouble. Now, something that you need to know about me for this story to make sense. I was a varsity athlete in college, and I've played team sports since I was 8 years old. For anyone who's ever participated in sports, you know that coaches will often lay down the law, especially when your team underperforms. And what's every coach's favorite form of punishment? You guessed it, running. Thus, my entire life, running has been hammered into my brain as something painful that you only do when you're in trouble. So, as the weeks before the event went by and the number of miles kept increasing, I kept finding myself dreading and hating the exercise routine more and more. And once the mileage got closer to 10 and then 15, I decided to run on a treadmill and watch Netflix or listen to podcasts. Anything I could do to distract myself from the fact that I was running, which now you know I hate. So then fast forward 12 weeks to the event itself, and there we were in Utah at Snow Basin Resort, and for the entire day before the event, all we had to do was stare at the insanely steep hill that was right in front of us, a 30-degree gradient that lasted further than you could physically see. And my anxiety began to rise because I just wanted to get started. I've always been excited about starting things, so I was getting antsy for this event to get going. Finally, Friday morning at 6 a.m., the race began. We hiked the first summit, half of it in the dark. Then we started the second summit around 8 a.m., and it wasn't until the third summit around 11 that I realized one terrifying fact. This course was not going to change. Every single ascent was going to be exactly the same. Every single rock was going to stay in its place. Every single hill was going to be just as steep as the first time around. And there was no Netflix or music to distract me. I was going to have to actually do the sucky, painful, sweaty hike over and over and over until the event was complete. And that's when it hit me. I hate doing hard stuff. Monotonous, boring, or at least things that I perceive as hard, monotonous, and boring. I crave variety. I love starting something new. I love that excitement that comes with exploration. But when it comes down to doing the hard stuff, the day-to-day grind, the necessary evils and the small things that get you to your goal, I avoided them at all costs. I was all too ready to come up with a new goal, create a new idea of success, and move on to the next thing the minute that something got hard. And during that third hike, I thought really hard about my business and my life. And I realized that this has been a pattern for as long as I can remember. I start something with massive excitement, I get part of the way into it, and as soon as it gets hard, or there's the least bit of pushback, or it's boring, I just abandon ship, latch onto a newer, shinier, more exciting idea or goal. It's why I've never enjoyed practicing anything. It's why I sometimes struggle to get projects or programs all the way to completion. And it's why my focus remains divided no matter how hard I try to tame it. So, during that third hike, I decided something that I believe will change my life forever. I was going to embrace the suck. I was just going to push through the pain. I was going to get rid of every distraction, and I was going to focus on this one activity, this one event, this one moment until it was complete. I was going to finish what I started, but I wasn't going to ignore or hate the middle. I was going to make the middle my friend. And that's exactly what I did. In fact, I decided to do the 4th hike completely alone so that I had no distractions whatsoever. Just me, just the poles, and just that freaking miserable mountain. And with each step, I told myself to embrace the hard part so that I could be ready for everything coming my way in business and in life. Skipping the hard stuff is all too easily, especially when you're a high potential or a high performer. We just tend to gravitate towards the activities and the goals that we're naturally good at instead of pushing through the things that are really difficult. And this pattern shows up differently for everyone. Perhaps you hate getting started, or you hate how hard it feels to cross the finish line. Personally, I hate the middle, and that has shown up for me in more ways than one. But I decided to use this event to end that cycle once and for all. For the first time in my life, I embraced the hard part. I focused on how much it sucked. And with every step forward, I felt myself changing positively for the better. So think about how this can apply to you. What part of the process do you dread? And how can you train yourself to embrace the sucky part so that you can grow and get to where you actually want to be? I can't wait to hear about your career journey and how this might have impacted you, so please leave a comment below this video. Also, you can get the discussion going on our sweet little space on the World Wide Web, tracytim.com, so get on over there and leave a comment now. While you're there, make sure you take advantage of our new free offerings on our homepage. There you can sign up for a free webinar called Jumpstart Your Career, or you can download our free Career Clarity Starter Kit. Either way, don't wait. You deserve a job and a life that you absolutely adore, and these resources can be your first step on that road to clarity. Did you like this video? I hope so, because I enjoyed putting it together for you. If you like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out some other videos that you might find helpful. And that's a wrap for today. Remember, now is your time. With a proven strategy, guided introspection, and a step-by-step plan, I promise that we can take your career from stuck to unstoppable. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next episode of The Nth Degree TV. This video is about embracing the suck, pushing through the pain. Ugh. Every single ascent was going to be exactly the same. Every single rock was going to stay in its place. Every single... Yes. That's okay. I'm so sorry. You were trying so hard.
I was like, come on, Haley, keep it together.